Hello everybody, this is Scav here. Today we are doing a interpretation of Avatar 1 as explained and perceived by me. Quick disclaimer. I highly enjoyed the Avatar movie. It was well made and amazingly produced for its time. This is not an insult to the cast, producer, or movie itself. It is a summary of the movie and a simple explanation of the plot, the geography of the planet, and possibly a humorous reader's digest of the plot. This is also made to point out a few lore inconsistencies shown in the movie. Don't piss on me in the comments about how I'm wrong, so I probably am wrong in several aspects. This is me voicing my opinion in an entertaining way. There are spoilers in this video. So, getting into Pandora itself, it is literally Space Vietnam, except with a corporate America thing, wanting resources. And that corporate America thing is the RDA, Resources Development Administration. It's not from Earth to gather resources since Earth is kind of screwed and they need the resources. So, the RDA goes to Pandora. They send out probes, and they send troops down, and they find supplies, and that's great and good. But they find one specific thing that they want, which is unobtainium. Unobtainium is an incredibly rare ore that can be used for all sorts of things, mainly energy production, that is that can make you really rich. It's like 20 million kilo or something like that, but it takes 6 years in cryogenic sleep to get to Pandora itself. So the RDA is set up there doing all sorts of mining operations to get filthy rich, do extensive scouting operations, and find out that they are not alone on this planet. There is a native population called the Na'vi, who really don't take kindly to there being human colonizers on the planet. The RDA is looking for big deposits of unobtainium, and then they figure out, well, crud, the tree Na'vi, or the Matkai, are living in a massive tree, Vietnam reference maybe, on top of a massive deposit of unobtainium, and they want them to move. And being the usual gun-happy people, they hire mercenaries to deal with them, which doesn't get taken too kindly by the Na'vi. So there's little skirmishes that go on and off. They attack a lot of RDA mining convoys, damaging supplies and killing people. So the RDA deploy SecOps, or literally corporate mercenaries, to deal with the threat, like not really to start more of a war than they already have, but to protect the mining convoys and their precious cargo. Which turns things to a boiling point, since it's literally, as I said before, it's literally Space Vietnam, except the Vietnamese are blue Smurfs that are, well, they're 10 feet tall, incredibly strong, like, really strong, and fire bows that are huge and arrows that are the size of broomsticks tipped in a neurotoxic venom. So there's skirmishing, which is overall really bad for business since the press gets a hold of it, and the RDA is like, well, this is bad for business, we need to fix this, we need to possibly find a more diplomatic solution, since it was costing them money dealing with all of that. So they start the Avatar program, which is mixing of human and Na'vi DNA to make things that look like the Na'vi. So if they look like us, and if they can learn to talk like us, maybe we'll like them. Which really doesn't work well for the RDA. It really just pisses the Na'vi off more, since the avatars are not Na'vi. An incredible amount of money to make these avatars, though, which RDA thinks might be a great idea, but it really just costs them more money in the long run, since the Na'vi are like, hey, they don't look like us, we really don't trust them, and we really don't like them. So it really goes downhill from there, and this is roughly the introduction of Jake Sully, who is a paraplegic ex-Marine. He's literally a jarhead crown eater. He's really dumb. His brother was the main smart guy, and his brother, well, twin brother, got killed before he was sent to Pandora, so the RDA reached out to Jake and was like, hey, yo, we can give you your legs back if you come and work in the Avatar program. And since the economy on Earth has got pretty much screwed, he pretty much agreed. He was like, okay, that works, that's great. And upon getting there, he figures out that not everything is all that great. He gets put through a quick crash course of Avatar training and gets put as a door gunner on a scientist gunship. So he literally squared up immediately against a big rhinoceros-looking thing, and it's like, oh yeah, I'm so good, I'm so cool, and then almost gets killed by a Thanator, which is literally a big jungle cat, and has to get split up from the team, literally has to jump off a cliff not to get eaten, and reverts back into a child, his usual jarhead crayon eater self. He touches stuff, and upon touching stuff, he causes problems for himself, and as it comes nighttime, gets cornered by a bunch of nasty little viper wolves, which try to tear him to bits, but Neytiri, a local that had been watching him, decides, well, maybe I shouldn't let him die, so she takes him to their home. And Jake, being his crayon-eating M60-wielding marine moron self, it's incredibly unlikely, but it happens. So now let's get into some of the geography of the planet. The planet overall, as seen in the first movie, is big forest, big floating rocks. The big floating rocks are known as the Hallelujah Mountains, which are big floating rocks. Which is, there's no real scientific explanation. They do put out big magnetic fields. Okay, let me just put this out. Literally everything is big. Everything is huge. So, going from that point, the Hallelujah Mountains give off magnetic fields around them, which makes all navigation, if you're flying something, really difficult, since you need compass orientation and such to level out and all that. And that just doesn't work with magnetic fields. It snafus all technology with that sort of stuff. So, it's really good for Na'vi, since nothing can chase you in that area, but it's really bad if you're the poor mercenary schmuck trying to chase them. Now we're getting to the atmospheric part of it. Pandora's atmosphere is made up of a mixture of carbon dioxide, xenon, methane, and hydrogen sulfide, which is literally death if you inhale it.
Let's go, exo-back on! Remember, people, you lose that mass, you're unconscious in 20 seconds, you're dead in 4 minutes. Let nobody be dead today. Looks very bad on my report.
Despite the toxin in the atmosphere, there is oxygen. A heck of a lot of oxygen, in fact. But since it is mixed with all this other garbage in the atmosphere, it is unusable for humans to breathe on our own. The gravity on Pandora is much lighter than on Earth. It is 0.8 Gs, which is significantly less, making it much harder for humans to walk on it, but since Na'vi and Avatars are made to deal with that, that's all great and good for them. One more pro for them to survive. Literally every living thing, be it flora or fauna, that isn't human on the planet is huge, or at least bigger than usual. And they're all bioluminescent. And now we're getting into Na'vi geography, well, not geography anatomy. So overall, the Na'vi are tall, they're big, they're humanoid, they look a lot like humans, but there are a couple of key differences. They're roughly 10 feet tall, their bones are reinforced with natural matrix carbon fiber, which makes them really unsusceptible to physical trauma.
You gotta be kidding me.
Yeah, I would say you've gotta be kidding me too. I would not have to jump off of this, but he's fine. He'll be fine, right? Well, there's that, and he's fine. There is no visible injury, there are no broken bones, he gets up and he is fine. So, they're mortal. They also have, as in the movie, black or brown hair braided around a neural cord, which they use to connect with several different animals, be it the dire horses or the banshees, the little flying little folks. Or, in the single point, the Thanator from Neytiri. She connects to that thing near the end of the movie, actually, when they're mainly fighting the RDA and kicking them off the planet. Avatars have 5 fingers due to human genetics being mixed with the Na'vi. The Na'vi have 4 fingers. They have 3 fingers and 1 thumb. They have a long tail, probably for balancing running on narrow, even surfaces. So, that's kind of cool. And I know, I am not an anatomy major, so I could be wrong. But bite me. This is my video, not yours. Now we're getting into some of the physics BS in Avatar. Mainly, the thicker atmosphere reduced gravity makes firing bows, like the Na'vi do, incredibly difficult, since arrows would quickly lose their speed due to drag going through the atmosphere. It is constantly seen that while Na'vi fire the arrows, they will be firing them at fairly long ranges flat, which is kind of foobar, despite the fact that the Na'vi, yeah, they're huge. The Na'vi are huge. And the arrows are literally the size of broom handles. They're huge. But even with that immense amount of strength behind them, it's still kind of garbage. It's, oh yeah, I'm going to fire this big piece of wood, and it's going to fly really, really far and still be able to penetrate bulletproof glass or people. People, that makes more sense. It's pretty much firing a ballista ball down. But that's still a little bit much. I might make a sequel to this if I get enough likes and comments. So leave comments down below to see what else you want me to talk about.